What is up, guys, and welcome back to my movie review channel, where my name is Michael, and every week, if you're new here, every week I will pick a random movie to review, and I will review it in hopes to find my definitive top 10 movie list. I know it's a big stretch to try and do, but I think I can do it. And I've been, the past 3 weeks I've been somewhat successful, so let's continue it. So this week's movie review is going to be a little bit different. Since we're now 5 days out until Christmas, I decided I'm going to review my favorite Christmas movie. I'm actually picking what I want to review this time instead of it being random. And I decided that, as you can tell by the title, I'm reviewing A Christmas Carol, but specific A Christmas Carol. It's not the Muppets A Christmas Carol. I'm sorry, I have not seen that. I'm actually going to be reviewing the Christmas Carol that was CG and actually had Jim Carrey do some of the voices. So that is my favorite one. So I just finished watching A Christmas Carol, and I think given in the right context, based off of this version of the film, because I haven't seen it in years, but based on this version of the film, in the right way, it could be a pretty good horror film. I'm not gonna lie, the way it shows and presents a few things, it could be a good horror film in the right context. But yeah, it's definitely still one of probably my favorite Christmas movie, even though I haven't seen a lot of them. But now it's time to dive straight into this review. Plot centers around the main character Ebenezer Scrooge, who is a tight SOB, who hates a multitude of things such as Christmas, the poor, and so on and so forth. So, the movie starts on Christmas Eve, 7 years after the death of his best friend and business associate, Jacob Marley. And after heading home, Jacob Marley decides to pay Ebenezer Scrooge a visit to essentially warn his old friend of what awaits him if he does not change his ways. And he even tells him that he will be visited by 3 different ghosts on this night. The ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas future, in order to help him change before it's too late. So the character of Scrooge starts off as a bitter old man who hates many things, Christmas being the main thing. And we see his change from being a bitter old man to that of a loving, caring person throughout the movie, thanks to being reminded of his past with the ghost of Christmas past. Hearing Scrooge beg not to be reminded of his past when he was once a happy, good-looking young man with a beautiful girlfriend, and how he threw it away for money, and we see this as when his girlfriend leaves, and Scrooge only looks maybe a year or two older, but his looks are more like the way he is now, but just a tad bit younger. When we see the ghost of Christmas present, it shows Scrooge that he isn't a heartless old man, that when he sees Tiny Tim and learns that if he doesn't change it, it will set a chain of events that will lead to Tiny Tim's death. Scrooge basically begs the ghost of Christmas present to save Tim's life. And finally, the big change is when the ghost of Christmas yet to come shows Scrooge that if he doesn't change his ways, he will die that night or a Christmas day that has yet to come. The ghost shows Scrooge that with Scrooge being the way he is now, when he dies, no one will mourn his passing. In fact, people will be happy that he is gone. For a movie that is 12 years old and is mostly CGI, it holds up really well. I love the detail of a lot of the character models when they get up close. They really did a great job, to the point where I couldn't believe that this movie came out in 2009, as it looks better than most CGI animated films today. Another thing that I love about this movie is that a lot of it is motion capture, and all the voice actors got to basically act out most of the movie. Even watching Jim Carrey be Scrooge in motion capture is a sight to see.
Humbug! Don't be cross, Uncle. What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not a penny richer. I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding.
The almost horror elements. My god, does this movie really go out of its way to scare you. As I said after watching this movie, given the right context, this could be a good horror movie with the falling apart of Marley's job, to Scrooge seeing all the lost souls doomed to wander the earth, trapped and in pain, as well as the chase scene with the ghost of Christmas yet to come. All those things that scene are in silhouette, and I almost forgot the death of Christmas Present. All would have been good in the right context, would have made a good horror movie, and I can definitely see this version scaring a good few kids. So, this is by far my favorite Christmas movie, easily beating out Home Alone 2, which used to be my favorite Christmas movie until I ended up watching, A Christmas Carol a few years ago. I can't remember the exact year that I seen it. I think it was 2016. I can't stress enough how amazing Jim Carrey's performance is in this movie. And it's also not surprising that a lot of people don't know that that's Jim Carrey because of just how well he has portrayed Scrooge, as well as the other characters such as, the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Yet to Be. Even I couldn't tell that it was him when I first seen it. So, I would give A Christmas Carol a 10 out of 10. So yes, this is the first movie to get a 10 out of 10 4 weeks in. But it's just that good. And there you guys go. That is a review of A Christmas Carol 5 days early for Christmas. A Christmas Carol is definitely one of my favorite films. I do enjoy the story a lot and have only really seen the one version of A Christmas Carol. Kind of. And even though I love this movie and I give it a 10 out of 10, it's actually not my favorite version of A Christmas Carol.
Time for Christmas Day.
Doctor, I can't hear you. What is that? Is that singing?
The Christmas Carol.
A what?
The Christmas Carol.
A what?
The Christmas Carol.
Doctor?
Kaz Ransard.
Doctor!
Merry Christmas, Kaz Ransard.